warm the body up from head to toe with some of our lymphatic movements as well as variations of those this morning. So, all right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to LisaBug Yoga for the Heart. We are in the month of March 2026. We're working on expanding through the chest. This gives us nice, good posture. It also helps us to strengthen our upper back. It gets the shoulders to pull back so they're not rounded and slumped. We'll be working on the muscles of the spine today as well. You can have some light hand weights close by if you'd like to add that to some of the poses. Starting with our warm-up, I'd like you to bring your feet about hips distance apart. And we did this, I think maybe on Tuesday. It's a movement that I call prancing. And I'd like for you to bend one knee, your heel comes off the floor, and then you set it down and you do the other one. So I think on Tuesday we did this double time. I'm getting something from Chris Norman. Hi, Chris Norman. I know you're watching later on YouTube. I think I'm just getting your exercises right now. So we're just going to do this bending the knees one at a time. I'm going to add some exercises to this. I want you to keep this going. And as you are, I want you to feel a stretch in your toes and the movement that you get in your ankles. So let's take our hands at about shoulders distance apart, and we'll clench our fists and open our hands. So we'll do clench and open. And each time we clench, that's when the heel comes up. Clench and open. So really think about strength when you're clenching and then stretch when you're opening. So strength and stretch, strength and stretch. Good. This would be nice if you have a couple of those little stress balls that you could do with as well, but you wouldn't really get the opening piece. So it's best not to do this particular one with the ball. Okay, keep going with the feet. Bring your hands, fingers up, fingers down, fingers up and down. Now, eventually I'm going to change what we're doing with the legs, but for now, I just want you to keep this going. And think about good posture, lengthening through the spine here. And we're warming up those wrists. Fingers up, fingers down. Two more. Fingers up, fingers down. One more. Up and down. Now bring the hands here. We'll open and close. So this is our rotator cuff warm up. Keeping the elbows close to the body. And your range of motion might not look like what mine is. That's okay. Then I want you to start to cross the midline. So let your hands fold across and open. Now I got my feet mixed up. That's okay. It doesn't really matter which foot goes when, just that you're still moving that. So we've got external rotation of the humerus, then internal rotation of the humerus. Two more of these. One and two. Then let's take it into supination and pronation. Supination. Ooh, I'm switching my feet now faster. Let's do it that way. Supination, pronation. Supination is when the hands are up. That means you could hold a bowl of soup. Isn't that a nice way to remember it? And pronation, when the hands go down. Let's get a couple more of these. Here's one and two. Now we're going to switch the legs to a knee up and a knee up. Just holding my hands still because eventually we're going to start to add some movements with the arms here. So we do life pretty much in opposition, right? Functionally, when we take a step with our left foot, our right arm swings forward. So when your left knee comes up, take your right arm forward. Oh, that changes the balance situation, doesn't it? Reach. Reach. Now, if you need to go back to just lifting your heel off the floor and doing that initial first movement, that's okay. Stretch it out. So keep doing this reach, but let's turn your palms into pronation. So now we'll do a reach here. They were in supination before. I didn't cue that, but you could probably see that my palms were up. Now, if we can reach this a little higher, maybe about 45-degree angle up. How are you doing with the knee raises? Not too bad, right? Or maybe we can reach it all the way up. You decide here where you want to go with it. Couple more each side. Here's one and one, two, and two. Now let's change what we're doing with the legs. So I'm just going to put my hands here like they were before, and we're going to do a hip abduction and a hip abduction. Good. Now again, we're going to move in opposition. So when that left leg goes out, take your right arm to about the opposite angle away from your body. Palms are up in supination. Good. Think about those Pilates principles that we've been covering in our Friday YouTube classes. So they are concentration, coordination, also thinking about precision and fluidity with our movements. We're thinking about breathing. Good. Two more each side. And great, one more each side. Keep the legs going if you're okay with this, but take your arms straight out away from you. So we're going to start to move both arms now. The opposite hand is going to go to the up diagonal. So when my left arm goes, or left leg goes out, what I want you to do is slice here, just like this. So opposite arm up. Good. And I kind of automatically come back to first position ballet. So you'll notice my toes are turned out. It helps me balance. So you can do that if you'd like to try. You could also bring your feet a little wider when you come together so you don't have such a close position of your feet. Two more each side. Good job. And then come into dead arms, rotate, rotate. And let those arms just be nice and heavy and loose and slap the sides of your body. Nice, starting to get the heart rate elevated just a little bit. Getting blood flow to the muscles, to the little capillaries in the skin, and moving that lymphatic fluid. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's come into the body wave. So now your feet are hips distance apart. Press the hands behind you and lift. Coming up onto the balls of both feet if you feel comfortable with that. Opening up the heart as the arms go behind you, raising up any amount. And let's get 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. Okay, make sure you have some room you can step behind you. Bring the hands here and we'll step the left foot back into a baby lunge and then step in. The right foot steps back and bring it in. And I want you to feel a stretch in your calf each time you step back in the lower part of your ankle or the lower part of the calf muscle. So if you turn your foot out like that, you're going to miss the stretch. So take it straight back and in. Okay, now just hold it center. You'll be circling the arms up, around, turn your palms back, and come forward. So the palms are in, you come up, around, switch your palms to face back and in. What we're going to do is step back with the leg as the arms go up, around, push the heel down, press back, and step in. Other foot steps back, lift, circle around, turn your palms, press back, and step in. Now make this circle the size that's okay for your shoulders. So maybe you need to stay in a little bit more modified version of this circle. I don't want you to feel any strain at all in your shoulders. And you can build in that range of motion as it's feeling okay for your body. And circle. Turn the palms back, push. And together, let's do 2 more on each leg. Working balance, flexibility, stability, and range of motion for those shoulders. 1 more each side. Great job. And switch. And step in. Take your hands backwards, circle them both around, reach up, make little fists with your hands, and pull your elbows right down in front of your shoulders. So I want you to press your right arm forward, bring it back in, press your left arm forward. And I am really squeezing my muscles when I'm doing this. I want you to imagine you're pushing against something with this exercise. If you'd like to try it with light hand weights, carefully pick up. I have a set of 3s. I'm going to bring them right here, not up here, but they're down. Your elbows are a little lower than your shoulders. And I'm going to press the weight forward. Not very heavy. Good. So what we're going to do with this exercise is sit into chair pose, come down. As you come up, one arm reaches out. Chair. Good. So this position right here is like our dolphin plank. So I got a nice message from Judith. She went into her physical therapy and got some options for wall planks. And some of this is mimicking what she's doing against the wall just a little bit. And let's do 2 more on each arm with chair pose. Down, with or without weights is fine. Push. 1 more on each side. Great job. Come down into chair. Hold the elbows right here. Breathe. Firm up your abdomen. Weight should be back in your heels a little bit. Make sure your knees aren't knocking in. You want to have those feet and knees in a nice neutral position. And then as you stand up, let both arms rest down by your sides. Pull your shoulder blades back like you're pressing your chest forward. And then sit into chair, coming back into this position and reach it down, press open. So I'm doing a bicep curl. And then as we're rising, I'm pressing the arms slightly behind my body and opening up the chest and strengthening through the upper back and the triceps a bit. Good. Even if you're not using weights, if you do this with a purpose, you can feel the muscles really engaging. Think about your head and neck position. In Pilates, we call that the cervical placement. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. And then relax. Great job. I'm going to walk these weights over to my chair so that I can grab them as I'm facing the chair here. So Judith, you'll be using the wall for this exercise. And if anyone else wants to use the wall, we're going to be doing a forearm plank. And Judith's plank is up against the wall with her feet walked back up on her toes. So that's an option if anybody wants to give it a try. Otherwise, we're going to use the chair for this. Actually, let me put my weights there so I can have my forearms on the chair. So I want you to stand close to your chair. We'll sweep the arms forward and up. Inhale. Then imagine you're sliding your elbows down a wall in front of you. Judith, you're going to place them there, and anybody else that would like to. Otherwise, we'll come down and place our forearms on the top of our chair and walk our feet back. Now, remember the exercise we just did where we were pushing one arm forward and then the other arm forward. I want you to push one forearm into the chair, then release it, and the other forearm into the chair. If this plank is a little bit challenging for your core, take one foot and step it forward. This will give you less of a workload on your core. And then at some point you could also switch. So we're going to push the right forearm into the chair, then push the left forearm into the chair. 2 more. On each side. 1 more on each side. Push and push. Walk your feet back in. Soften your knees and come up and release the arms by your side. Shoulders are back and down. So we have the wall for one option. We have the chair for second option. We have the floor for option number 3. So let's inhale, sweep up. Exhale, come down, either putting your forearms down on the chair or your hands go to the ground, and we walk those feet back. Let your knees find the mat and bring your forearms down to the mat. So now we're here. We can have our knees on the ground. Push your right forearm into the ground and then release it and push your left forearm into the ground. Your knees can pop up off the floor. Push the right forearm. Push the left. Now you're not moving anything when you push that forearm. What are you creating? An isometric contraction. You have your hands in little fists, and the fists are facing each other. Your elbows are shoulders distance apart. Let's do 1 more on each side. This is building strength for our planks. And then relax. If you're on the mat, let your knees drop down. If you're on the chair, rise up to stand. If you're on the mat, walk your feet back toward your hands and come on up. So you should have felt some really good work down the back of your arms and the triceps and shoulders. Okay, now having those weights as an option here, let's come into pyramid. And pyramid can be done on the wall also, so you can walk your hands down the wall, but we'll take our right foot forward, our left foot back with just a little tiny turnout in that back foot. Straighten both of your legs. Let's bring hands to hips because this gives us nice open posture through the chest and shoulders. There's a tiny micro bend in your front knee because I don't want you to lock that knee out. And let's start to fold forward here. When you start to feel your hamstring stretch, that is your comfortable edge. That's where we're going to stay. Now, if you don't want to do any arm work with this, that's fine. You can put your hands down on your chair and just enjoy a stretch. Otherwise, with light weights or with no weights at all, we'll let the arms hang down. Bring your palms to face forward. So my palms are now facing my chair. I want you to pull the elbows back and down 3 times. Pull the elbows back and down. One more. Pull back and down. Now your palms face inward towards each other. Open your arms out like a butterfly wing. You need to come away from the wall a little. So both arms go out 3 times. Control. And 2. And one more. Then turn your palms to face the back of your body. Push the arms straight back for 3. And 2. And 1. So we have 3 movements. Let's do one of each. Palms forward, pull the elbows up. Exercise 1. Turn your palms to face each other. Open the arms. Reverse exercise or reverse fly exercise. Turn your palms to face the back and lift. 2 more times of each movement once. Pull elbows up. Open the arms out. Palms face back. Press behind you. Good. 1 more of each. Palms forward. Lift the elbows. Palms face in. Open out. Palms face back. Press. And then soften that front knee. Bend it a little bit and rise up. Step the back foot in. Good. Relax. If you feel like the weights are not for you today, you can set them down because you've already done 1 set. That's fine. Or we'll step that right leg back. A little bit of a turnout in the back foot, a little bit of a micro bend in the front knee. Hands can come to your hips to open up heart center. And we start to hinge forward. Find your edge. Brace your core to stay there. Strong and powerful. Palms face forward toward the chair. 3 rows. Pull it up. 1. Same exercise again. Squeeze the shoulder blades. 2. Breathe. Exhale. Turn your palms to face in towards each other. Open out. Reverse fly. 3. I wish my room or my space had a little bit more room to come away from the wall. Okay, palms face the back. Lift behind you. 3. Slow and controlled on the way down. 2. Make sure you're in neutral spine, even with that head position. Now we have 3 movements. Let's do 1 of each. Palms forward, pull the elbows up. 1. Palms face in, open out. 2. Palms face the back, lift. 3. 2 more times. Palms forward, elbows up. 1. Palms face in, open. 2. Palms face back, press. 3. 1 more time of each. Exhale. Scoop your abs in. Brace your core. Press it back. And then soften that front knee. Rise up. Step the feet together. And we can release the weights. Good. Open out into a nice wide leg stance position. Ooh, the arms feel a little bit tired and heavy. So let's turn out into right side warrior 2. So really give yourself a nice wide stance. Check your foot position. Make sure this feels okay for you. Bring the hands at heart center or up a little higher, right about in here in front of your chin or your neck. And then we'll open out into W arms. Sometimes this is called goalpost arms, but I don't really like the term goalpost because if you make it look like a goalpost, your elbows are too high. A W feels just about right. Pull those shoulder blades back, and then as your hands come back in, straighten the right leg. Sink down, open, press in. So we've got a chest expansion and then press your palms to create some resistance. With the lower body, we have a single leg closed chain quadricep extension. Let's get 3 more. Open and close. Press. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Then open out and sink into your warrior 2. You can keep your elbows bent here. You can reach out. You can drop the arms and come into a chest expansion by interlacing your hands. Or if your yoga strap is close enough to grab it, that can go behind your back. So wherever you'd like to be here, 3 breaths. Great job. 1 more breath. Drop the arms and switch your stance. So we're going to pivot that right foot in, pivot the left foot out. This is my now bad knee, so I don't feel as comfortable bending this very much without a lot of pain, but I want you to go down to that spot you can. We'll bring the hands here, press and open. As you press the hands, straighten the leg and bend the knee. That's about all the range of motion I can comfortably do, but it's okay. Eventually that knee will be repaired. And, I'm about 2.5 years out off of that other knee replacement, and look how good that knee can do now. It eventually gets there. Just takes some time, as a lot of things do in life. So we're exhaling to press, create resistance, push, push. Inhale to open, pull those shoulder blades and elbows back. 3 more. Good. And 2. Wherever your knee bends is fine. Just make sure it's tracking appropriately over the center of the foot. Hold it here, or hold it here, or drop down, hold it back here, or take that yoga strap and bring it behind. You can lift your arms up a little bit. 3 deep breaths. Good. Last one. And then relax that. Straighten the front leg. Pivot both feet forward so they're even with the side edges of your mat. I want to give you a couple options here. Either coming into a wide leg forward fold. We can hinge from the hips and bring our hands down. If you can't touch the mat, you've got a chair you can use, blocks. If you'd prefer not to do this deep hamstring stretch, what I want you to do is a standing happy baby. So you're going to pivot both heels in, turn your knees out, hinge over from the hips as if you're reaching down to the floor. Now this stretch is completely different for me. So the straight leg forward fold, it really gets those hamstrings. This one for me, inner thighs, glutes, lower back. So there's some nice benefits to either one of these stretches. So you can pick which one you'd like to do. Or combine them together. If you want to hold happy baby for a couple of breaths, then you can adjust your feet and straighten your legs for a couple of breaths as well. Let's take 2 more breaths. One more breath. Now, while I'm here in this position, I can grab my blanket. So I'm going to just pull that to my mat here because we're going to come down to our hands and knees so I can reach it and I can be ready. So we're going to walk our hands over to whatever you consider is the front of your mat and come down to your hands and knees. So take your time to get there. I know it's not always easy to make those kind of transitions and adjustments. So we've been working a lot on our planks and our bird dogs. So Judith, you can be on the wall here for your bird dog if you're ready to add that, or whatever you've been approved to do here from your physical therapist. What I'd like to do is take your right leg straight back, flatten that your thigh to the floor and your hips, so you have that right hip rolled in and down a little. Bend your knee, and we're going to press the heel up toward the ceiling and then bring it down toward the floor. So the knee comes up, squeeze the glute, and bring it down. And then, of course, with our bird dog, your option will be to take the left hand away from the floor, and it's either reaching out and holding, or as that knee comes in, you can actually bring the opposite elbow in toward the knee and round your back like a cat. We want to exhale when the knee's coming in. Inhale when it presses away. Wherever you're at, let's do 2 more. Make sure you accommodate wrist issues on that right hand. 1 more. And then let your knee find the mat, let your hand find the mat. I need to shake out my right arm a little bit. That's a lot of work on that arm and shoulder and wrist. Okay, so let's try the other side. Your left leg goes straight back, level off your hip, bend your knee, press the foot up toward the ceiling, and then lower the knee down. Option to do that with the right hand reaching and holding, or with the right arm, elbow coming in toward the knee, curving your spine, hollowing out your belly. Good. We want to inhale when the leg goes out and up. Exhale when the knee comes in. 3 more repetitions. Really building strength in our core, working on balance and stability. 2 more. Nice. 1 more. Relax back to hands and knees. I'm going to shake out that left arm. That series can also be done standing up using your chair on feet and hands. Let's come back into a little bit of a relaxed child's pose position. Let your shoulders round forward a bit. And then we are either going to stay here for a pigeon pose, or you can use this minute to roll over onto your back if you like figure 4 stretch and you prefer that. Or you can sit up in your chair if you enjoy a seated pigeon pose. So I'm going to give you a couple of breaths here to get prepared for whichever one that you would like to do. So our bodies are all very, very different. So I'm going to try traditional pigeon, but I need more of a blanket here underneath my hip. A lot of a blanket. Okay, so let's do the right hip first. So I'm going to bring my right knee forward and set my hip right on that blanket. So take your time to come into the pose that feels the best for you. If you're on your back, your right knee is going to cross over your left thigh and you'll hug those knees up toward you. And then if you're in traditional pigeon, you can come down. Now, if you can get your elbows to come down to the mat, I want you to do that particular exercise that we did on the chair. So you're going to make fists. They're facing each other, and I want you to push into the floor with your right forearm. Release that, then push into the floor with your left forearm. You're just going from one arm to the other. Now, if you're on your back, you're in figure 4, you can't really particularly do this piece, but you might find something else that you can focus on while we're doing this strengthening for the tricep. So just kind of see what might feel good for you, or just relax into the stretch. If you're doing the forearm work, let's do one more on each arm. And then we'll relax. I want you to find a counter pose. So if you're on your back, maybe do some windshield wipers for a second. If you're in traditional pigeon, maybe you go back to child's pose for a moment, or even can pop up to a downward dog and pedal out the feet a little bit. So just take some time for yourself before we move to that other side. And then when you feel you're ready, we'll do the left leg. Whichever position that you're in, make that feel appropriate for you. And then you can decide if you want to add that little bit of tricep isometric work. If it feels comfortable for you to come down to your forearms, make your fists are facing each other. We push one arm into the mat, release, push the other arm into the mat, and release. Now you don't have to do this with closed fists. You can do knife blade hands, where you have the pinky finger pressing into the floor, your thumbs are up. So that's an option as well. Check your cervical placement. So make sure you're not lifting your head up or letting your head sag down like a ripe grapefruit hanging off the tree. You want to have that good neutral alignment with your head. Let's do one more of these triceps on each side. Then relax. If you want to stay there a little bit longer, especially if you're watching later on YouTube, you can do that. And then we're going to come to a seated position, and I'm going to sit right on top of this folded blanket that I have. So take your time to come there. You can be in simple cross-leg pose. If that doesn't feel okay for you, then you can extend your legs forward or together. I want you to feel relaxed. I have my yoga strap next to me, and we're going to work on cow face arms. You may or may not need this strap, so just if you do, it's a nice tool to use. So if you have it, you need to use it. We're going to place it over your right shoulder so it's hanging behind your back. And then use your other hand to kind of give your arm a little bit of a push. Ooh, my triceps are sore from Tuesday. Oh, you know what it is, guys? 15 push-ups. I'm feeling that today. And then we'll take the other hand, turn the palm down, and very carefully reach behind you. If you're using the yoga strap, you're going to walk your fingers as closely as you can together on the strap and gently pull away, just a little bit. Gently is the key word. If you can actually bind your fingers together, then get them bound and softly and gently pull away. Now try to keep your head in that neutral cervical placement. It's really easy to drop your chin down here. So bring it up nice and neutral. Sit up tall as you can. 2 more breaths. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now I always like to release the bottom arm carefully first, because that one's in a little bit of a compromised position and I don't want you to strain that arm. And then bring the other one down. Pause here for a moment and then maybe close your eyes and just observe. What do you feel? Sometimes we feel the urge to quickly go do the other side, but it's nice to just pause for a moment and notice the feeling in our body after doing the first side. Now, if you want to change your legs, you can switch to the other foot crossed or anything else you'd like to do. This always feels very odd for me to do the opposite. If you're using the strap, let's brace that behind you and then give yourself a little stretch upward. Yes, this tricep is equally as sore as the other one. And then we'll bring that hand behind carefully. Gently walk your fingers as close as you can or find a bind. And sometimes you just need to do one arm on this. Maybe the bottom arm just does not like to be in that position. Then don't worry about it. Give yourself a little stretch here or here and call it good. Sit up tall. Take 2 more breaths, either in through the nose, out through the nose, or in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then be very gentle with that right shoulder, releasing it carefully. And then the left side. Take a moment just to check in, maybe close your eyes. Very nice. With or without your yoga strap. Let's bring it up. Inhale. Pull it over to the right and side stretch. Exhale. Inhale, center, then lower the arms back down. Exhale. So it's a 4-part movement. We'll do it to the other side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now for you, it might be here. Inhale. Exhale. Find the position that feels okay on your shoulders. And if you feel like your core isn't managing to support yourself quite enough with this exercise, I want to give you an option. So you're going to put one hand on the floor. Inhale. Exhale, support yourself. Inhale, and then bring that hand down to the mat and do the other side. Inhale. Exhale. I love them both equally the same. I feel different benefits for each one. Or if you want to do both arms but you don't have the yoga strap, here you go. Let's do one more on each side. And relax down. Great job. We can release that yoga strap. Let your legs unfold and come out straight in front of you. I'm going to turn a little bit to the side so you can see my body a little bit better. My right knee needs a second to stretch out. So if you would like to do a reverse plank, I'm going to give you the option to do that. If your shoulders do not like the reverse plank, then I'm going to give you a different option first. We can have the knees slightly bent or the legs straight. You choose. Bring your hands and place your fingers behind you. You can lightly tent your fingers so you're not using your wrists. And then open the heart, open the throat. And then as you release that, let your arms come forward and reach out any amount towards your feet. So there's your option without actually lifting into a plank. Another option, again, you can bend your knees or keep your legs straight, lift your bottom off the floor, come down, and then reach forward. A nice option is bending one knee, lifting up into your plank, lowering down, and then stretching forward, and then bending the other knee, coming into that single leg plank, and forward. So let's do two more. You're picking which one you want to do, depending on if you want that pressure on your wrists and shoulders. If that doesn't feel okay for you, this is a lovely option, keeping your bottom down on the floor. And one more time. Great job. We'll move into a seated twist, and you can also take your twists down onto the mat if you'd like to lay on your back. So let's bend one knee, pull it in, comfortable amount, flex the opposite foot, and tighten up your leg muscles on that straight leg. Sit very tall with your spine, and then the same hand goes behind you as the knee that's bent, and we'll rotate. Now there's some different ways we can do this twist. You can take the foot across the leg. That's going to open up your hip a little bit more here. You can also press your palms at your heart center and anchor your elbow or your forearm along the outside of that leg that you have bent. Another one I like is to reach behind and anchor the elbow and turn. One more breath here. Nice stretch for the cervical spine. And then as we come forward, we'll take this bent knee and bring it to tree pose. So we have our foot to the inner thigh. We're going to stay nice and strong like tree. You can stay upright. I'm going to give you three options. Just stay straight up. Second option, bring the hands behind and do your chest expansion. Third option, maybe the yoga strap is available. Reach it out, place it under the bottom of the foot, and give yourself a little hamstring stretch. I'm the queen of options. I'm the queen of you pick. I love that. I love teaching that way. It gives everyone something that is perfect for them every class. Okay, so let's do all of that on the opposite side. So we'll straighten out the leg, bend the other knee, sit tall, lengthen your spine first. So I don't want you to be slumpy and then try to twist. Doesn't work well. And then we'll twist. Nice options here. We can place the foot across. We can press the palms into our prayer position, or one hand behind, the other elbow anchored on the knee. Breathe. Excellent. Very slowly unfold from the twist, unwind, come into your tree, seated tree pose. So you can decide whether to stay upright, whether to bring your hands behind and enjoy another chest expansion, unless your shoulders have had enough of that today, or folding into our forward fold. And then find some nice slow breaths. And depending on the position that you choose, it might make a difference where you're breathing. If you're sitting straight up, send your breath into your side ribs. If you're doing the chest expansion, send your breath into the heart center. And if you're doing the forward fold, send your breath into the back body, into your kidney region, to the sides of your rib cage or the back of your rib cage. All right, let's relax that. Unfold that bent knee so both legs are straight. Sit tall. I'm going to turn toward you now. Now, if this isn't comfortable, pick a different position. Sit and breathe. Tip one ear toward the same side shoulder. And then with that hand, we'll reach across and just give the outside of your neck a nice little massage here. Find those little knots in the knitting and just kind of ease out any tension. And then release that side. Gently tip across the other way. Add the little neck release. And then come back up to neutral head position. If it feels comfortable for your shoulders, bring your fingers just back behind the back of the head just a little bit. Pull your elbows back toward the back of the wall. Lift your head up slightly. You're supporting your neck, the back of your head, and then drop your chin toward your chest and try to bring the elbows in towards each other. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. And then again, we inhale, open the throat without tossing your head straight back. And fold the elbows in. One more time. And then just open out to neutral. Let the palms of your hands slide to heart center. Allow your thumbs to touch your sternum gently. This makes that connection in our Anjali Mudra. And we pause here to celebrate our hard work today, the dedication we have to the health of our spirit, mind, and body, the dedication we have to community LisaBug. And the joy in my heart honors the joy in the hearts of each of you. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Liz, I know you need to go, so we'll see you next time. If you can stay along, everyone else for the chat, I'll turn our recording off and let's check in and we'll have a little chat about what we're going to do for next month as well. Okay.